Reject Nation, we're gonna watch All of Us Are Dead 1 by 5. It's a short one. It's only 56 minutes compared to its usual 2.5 hours. Hit that like button if you've been enjoying our reactions. It would mean a lot. It helps us out in the algorithm. Also, subscribe and click that notification bell to get notified when our reaction for episode 6 is up. I hope you stayed around for the intro because I'm not sure when the following one's coming. Kind of a weird week because Book of Boba Fett is the finale, and then I'm gone for 2 days. So yeah, just keep a lookout. Yeah, full like to watch alongs, or you sync up with the time code over our Patreon page. Cover a whole bunch of crap over there as well. Thanks to all Become Superajects and them handsome boys over at Prepper. Thanks for being some good devils to us. All right, guys, check it out.
우리 천국 가기 글렀어. 여기가 천국이야.
This is heaven.
Oh, archers. So calm, cool, and collected. No issues killing. Is she looking for someone specifically?
코로나19로 인해 코스피 코스닥 양대 시장에 사이드카와 서킷 브레이커가
So COVID happened in the same world with the zombies happened.
Yeah. Oh God.
What the hell? Guess they don't care for the wisdom.
They don't want those refugees, boy.
홍대 전철역 좀비 퍼포먼스로 놀라신 시민 여러분들께 구독자분들께 사과 말씀드립니다. 의도와 달리 오해를 불러일으킨 점 정말 이렇게 무릎 꿇고 사과할 줄 알았니?
I wonder if he's a real influencer.
I wouldn't be surprised.
SNS에 떠드는 가짜 뉴스들을 대다수 언론들이 검증도 안 하고 내보내면서 혼란을 가중시키고 있습니다.
Fascinating.
감염 확산 방지, 비감염자 구출. 거기에만 집중합시다.
Fair.
So now this is like very topical.
Yeah. Oh, good.
God, do you freaking show your damn misleads?
I like that one though.
I wonder if the creator of the show came up with this idea when he was in high school.
What would me and my friends do?
Oh my God.
He's an agile zombie. Oh, wow.
It's just an obstacle course.
네가 죽이게 만들었잖아. 나 지질이 아닌 거 보여달라며. 미친 새끼.
A loser's better than a
Damn
murderer.
stunts.
Oh no! Ow! Jeez. Oh my God!
Wow, nothing will cause this guy to fall. My man.
Wow. Hit him with it. Yeah. Oh. 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 Yes. Yes. That.
Get him. Sink your teeth into him.
Of course he's gonna avoid getting killed. No.
And the phone's still intact.
It's a good phone case.
Whoa. I gotta hear his internal thoughts. Why didn't you run, man?
Yeah.
Why didn't you run?
Don't savor it now. If you could just get the bookcase to fall on him. Aw, oh, damn.
Ooh, parkour.
Ah. No.
Oh, good. They think he got away. Wait it out, man. Well, it's scary.
No, no.
There's no time to wait it out. Keep going.
No. Excellent use of book.
No time to think. Start running. Start running.
Run,
Please start running.
Run.
Please start running.
Run. Oh.
Nice.
Oh, archery class. Thank you.
아, 이 상황에서 동진 찾는 것도 말이 안 되고 그렇다고 따라 나온 것도 미친 짓이라고 내가 안 했...
누나! 이거 컴퓨터 있어요.
One, you got medical supplies.
상황이 타 지역으로 확대 전파되는 것을 사전에 통제하였습니다. 계엄 이외 지역에서는 동요하지 마시고 생업에 종사하시기를. 효산 시내 휴대폰, 일반 전화, 인터넷.
God damn it.
Mother.
But people need help.
Fucker.
드론 있으면 좋을 것 같아. 청산이도 찾아보고 밖에 어떤지 살펴볼 수도 있으니까. 상황 되면 메시지 적어서 구조 요청도 할 수.
And get a view of how terrible it is.
Yeah, lose all hope.
조립하다 망거라 부품 몇 개 더 챙겨야 되는데 뭐뭐 챙겨야 되는지 알아?
Glasses guy, you're gonna have to go.
같이 가자.
Such a dangerous ass rope climb.
중요한 정보 가진 사람은 원래 살아남아야 되는데 말입니다. 그럼 우리가 사는 게 먼저 아닙니까?
이 새끼가 오늘따라 왜 자꾸 사회 지도층... 네가 뭐 선대야?
네, 현역인데요.
아유, 야, 너 공부하느라 많이 힘들었구나. 얼굴이 다 말해주네.
Quiet.
Yeah, way to be quiet.
Jeez. You messed them both up. Oh no.
Damn, how'd they get out of there? This is so wacky. I got a Scooby-Doo run. Oh my god,
no.
they found the baby.
괜찮아, 일로
I love that detail. I just got a different scene.
뭐야 저거?
They just kill it immediately. Can't take any chances.
The baby came at me, you saw it.
이게 그 좀비 아니에요?
아니야, 살아있어.
Oh.
야, 냉장고나 좀 뒤져봐라. 우유 같은 거라도 있나?
왜요? 뭐 드시게요?
어떡하긴 새끼야. 본부 가야지.
애기는요? 뭐 데려가게요?
Can't leave the baby behind. Oh no, she gonna get bit.
No. Oh, god damn it, dude. Oh no.
온조, 어떤 게 더 맛있어?
둘 다.
다 맛있었어?
Oh, he's gotta tell her.
Still miss Gungsu.
Find your motivation, man.
Oh, dude. For the love of God.
Dude, he is so cool.
What? Oh, jeez. Rock and roll will save us.
천천히.
빨리 가.
She wasn't bit, right?
No. Well, not that we know about.
I think I do some flashback that shows she got bit.
Whoa, dude.
사람은 절망에 빠진 걸 확인하는 순간 진짜 절망에 빠진대. 논리적인 게 인간적인 건 아니잖아. 위기 상황일수록 논리적인 게 좋아. 지금은 논리보다.
Let's be irrational.
It's a perfect time to panic.
Bet someone there has a special cameo.
민재 네가 먼저 내려가서 달려오는 놈들 있으면 쏴.
네.
그 다음에 니들이 내려가서 민재 도와주고 내가 복도 막고 있다가 제일 마지막으로 내려갈게.
I hope she and the archer girl get together by the end of this. I think they're gonna be landing on trash.
That was like one shot. Damn.
이거 왜 이렇게 높아? 빨리 뛰라고. 아이씨, 알았다고.
Oh boy. Oh no.
맞네, 화살. 뭐, 왜? 누나 샵.
Ah. Reveals.
청산이다. 저기 어디야?
청산이 있어 혼자야. 청산이.
Why do I feel like he's about to get bit?
Yeah, I'm really afraid now.
How far can this thing go?
Yeah, what's the range? Jesus.
잠깐만.
왜?
나 아니.
Oh, is that your pops?
이거 우리 아빠.
Oh.
Damn, that's hard. That's heartbreaking.
Don't crash the drum.
검사 절차부터 진행하겠습니다.
검사를 안 받겠다는 게 아니잖아요.
이번들 출동부터 구조까지 책임진 사람으로서
통제에 따라달라는 게 부탁으로 들려?
Just follow through with the examination, man.
국회의원이셔서 최대한 편의를 제공하는 겁니다. 검사 대기 시간은 최소 12시간에서 최대 72시간입니다.
It's a wide margin.
It's like flying Spirit Airlines.
Peering into economy.
Why are his eyes not transformed? Okay, thank God. I was gonna say if he's the fucking cure.
Oh, he could be. I don't know. What? He's like her.
You gotta be shitting me. What? What? Come on.
This fucking guy.
Why does the show love this guy so much?
The power of evil helps him persist.
이 바이러스가 만약 인간의 의식까지 학습한다면 새로운 인류가 탄생할지도 모른다.
Interesting.
이청산 이 개새끼.
Oh God.
God damn it.
I wonder what happens if he runs into the girl with all the phones.
Would he still crave human flesh, though?
It's a great question.
히라미가 천국이잖아.
You sick son of a bitch.
야 이 청산!
Damn.
That is, oh my God.
That is-
as far as villains go.
That is so frustrating.
That is, yeah.
That is so frustrating.
Fucking
Frustrating.
Of course.
I hate this show.
Oh,
God, he just keeps
What you
getting
do
worse.
is just twist that blade more and more.
Keeps getting worse.
Right when you think, I knew it was too rewarding when he died.
Still waiting for the show to get boring.
I know. God, I heard this was the lull patch.
Heard, don't worry, like 4 through 6. I'm like 4 or 5, pretty damn entertaining if you ask me.
6 is just gonna be like one person alone in a room, no zombies.
Yeah.
Totally new character that we don't know yet.
Well, it's what the show's doing is cool because they're taking this. What they're pretty much doing is doing like a whole bunch of zombie movies in one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you have your Dawn of the Dead like situation where you're stuck in a big location with a lot of zombies, and then now what we're doing is exploring the outside part with the military and the quarantine zones and how the army and all them are handling it, where the public are finding refuge. And watching how that's also a shit show on its own.
Civil unrest with refugees, yeah.
Yeah, and it takes the time to explore the finer details of that. And then now also at the top of this episode, exploring the real world and how they'd react to it if they're not involved. As like they directly reference the COVID pandemic, and then you're seeing how that's also factoring in here because the zombie outbreak hasn't spread everywhere yet. So you got the people pulling the pranks, you got the fake news, misinformation being spread out, of how this can happen. So I'd be curious to see if the show does go down that path of like people attacking. You know how like when the virus in real life when it first broke out, how there was a lot of like racism towards Asian people that was occurring.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I don't know if that's going to hit like too real for this show or something like that. But it's like people jump to conclusions about like even now, like people sometimes cough or sneeze. You're like, you got COVID?
Ooh, yeah, everybody's head turns. Yeah.
And I'd be interested to see how people if they do something like that here, because it seemed like they were touching on something that was very topical intentionally of like, all right, this is dealing with a virus outbreak. We just had a real life virus outbreak affect the world, and now we're seeing how it's being handled here too. And like the way they handle their turns of things I lost my train of thought. But take it away, John.
Just weaving in and out of all these things. No, I think it is really impressive because they've slowly been introducing the macro scale along with the micro scale that we've been existing on. And so, yeah, in this episode, it feels like the most engaged that aspect of it has been seeing how they're dealing with martial law, seeing how they're cutting off the city because of all the fake reports and things coming out of it. And it's funny because reading in the comments, again, some folks were like, oh man, it gets really ham-fisted with some of this stuff. But thus far, I mean, I felt like they've managed to really gracefully weave in and out of both of these stories and keep them both tense and percolating and sort of, kinetic in a way, while also giving you the certain little moments of poetry, whether it be, just seeing like the constant expectation of like, I'm an assembly woman, you should have like the best carpet rolled out for me, and they're constantly like, we're doing the best, we just don't have much to work with. And yeah, watching as the situation expands and watching as these characters, it's like, you've got the girl at school and her dad, and they get further and further from each other, and he's keeping on trying to get in contact with her somehow. But yeah, like they've managed to keep this situation that feels really immediate and very tangible growing now in a way that gives you more narrative omnipresence because you're cutting from place to place more often, but that still feels like they basically took a zombie, like you said, a bunch of zombie movies with the overarching theme of, okay, and I know other movies have done this, but the sort of, okay, how would this really go down in our world today with our, human, with like the quirks of our cultures as well as just our human response mechanisms? How would this all play out? What would everybody be doing? What would everybody try in this situation? And I liked the whole thing. Like, I wasn't sure what was going to happen there, but I liked the whole thing with the drone and the fact that, they took these opportunities to set you up for things where you're like, oh god, this is going to go so terribly wrong, and those things don't, and then they make room for other things to duck in, like the whole thing with what's his name, Gwi-nam or whatever, the the asshole guy becoming, like one of the next steps in human evolution. Like they're good. I think this was I know in previous episodes I've compared like, okay, some of these, twists or events feel more like a movie and some of them feel more like, oh wow, that's kind of real and that's kind of, a little more harsh and a little more nuanced than, movie logic. And I felt like this episode lived very much in the sort of like real world, what would happen kind of stakes.
True.
And I really love I love that they'll let certain characters pop in. Like we didn't see the guy live streaming this episode, even though we didn't see him die in the last one. But you come back to the cop and the like EMT guy, and them going through the city and finding the baby and things like that. Like I like how the scope of the stories we're following grows sort of subtly as it also gets pared down with who dies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really quirky.
It is, yeah.
When they were running through the city.
Yeah.
It was like unusually quirky.
I haven't seen footage sped up to that extent in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was it's a little jarring to me in the moment.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, but it also felt like, oh, we're really. Sometimes I think the thing with the comedy of where it could be a little hit or miss is it starts feeling like a beat of we need some comedy in here to lighten the mood and provide some release before we go back to tension.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or to keep some engagement. Sometimes a comedy feels like a note infused versus like something naturally coming out of the characters. Not always. I'm gonna specify that. It's not always feeling like it's just something that they're just interjecting because they feel like they got to.
Yeah.
But sometimes it does. But that's still really amusing. It was funny. You don't see how they get out of that car situation. I thought that was interesting because usually they let you live in those moments to see how they escape.
Yeah.
But it's fun how they did wind up with the baby themselves, and now the baby has a chance. So I wonder what will become of that. I wonder if we're gonna get like some flash forward or something like that by the end of this episode, the end of this season. I do think Cheong-san is gonna turn into a zombie. I think he will eventually get bit. I think there's just too much hinting at that. And I wonder what this like evolution is of it. Like, was there anything special come with it, or he just developed? As right now, it's registering as you develop some type of immunity to it.
Yeah.
But it's not really registering as something more than that. And like,
yeah, is it like what does learning the human psyche and anatomy change?
Make you a psycho?
Or does it just make you better able to live with it and not be a big deal?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious about that too. Because, yeah, I mean, he's going through it, and the girl with the phones is definitely going through it. And that's the only, I'm very excited to see them meet again. Not excited, that's the very wrong word, but I anticipate that.
Cheong-san's my favorite character.
Yeah.
He's definitely my favorite. He's the most engaging. For a character like that who is intentionally not vulnerable, you need a character who can have a lot going on underneath the surface when he's not talking or letting his emotions out. And I think out of all the actors on the show, he's the most engaging when it comes to that department of performance. Like, he's really great at the physicality. He's really, like, it looks like he's doing a lot of his own stunts for most of it. Like, a lot of that whole library sequence was wonderfully composed.
Yeah.
You know, I think what's really cool about the way that what the show does is it uses, it's like, I feel like the writers of this show must have had some like drawing board of like, what does the school have? How many of these rooms can we utilize, and how can we stage a sequence around here? And I think they really utilize that to full effect with their library scene. But in terms of him as a character, like I really like the way they handled that when he's like stuck alone. He's kind of becoming hopeless because this episode, one of the themes of this episode, obviously dealt with a lot of don't lose hope in a situation this dire. And he's a great reflection of that. While we're talking about like ham-fisted, like with Prez, she's like pretty much stating the theme of this episode, you know. And she's talking about the theme of this episode. They're having a little bit of an existential debate about the situation. But with him, you see him regain his hope, like what motivates him when he thinks about. Oh my God, we don't have the character names pulled up. What's her name?
Oh, his girl?
Hanjo?
Yeah.
Hanjo?
I believe so, yeah.
When he's thinking about her, when he's stuck in the...
Yeah, when he's stuck in the
not a vent.
What do you call that? Like an access chute or something, or a?
It's probably the best description. If it's not, that's a great thing you came up with. It.
Yeah, 'cause it's just like pipes and shit. So it must just be for like, I don't know, if we got to tweak, if we need to access the plumbing. Yeah.
Like when he's there and he he's giving up hope, and then he could just fall if he wanted to. And then he thinks about her and some moments that we've seen in the show of just him watching her and the feelings he had during those moments. And then the thought of like his friend dying and like that could happen to her, could happen to him. It's like you see in that moment he has to get back to her. Mm-hmm. And so I thought that was you see his motivation to live is coming from there.
Yeah.
So I thought, like, when talking about the theme of hope, he represented that the most in there, whereas everything else is really like bleak. And then you see the students in the classroom they're stuck in also trying their absolute best, because it seems that this episode is a tug and pull of like how much hope can you maintain in a hopeless situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they do a great job at exercising those emotions, man. It's really strong, and I think all the actors are really good too. They're all really believe, to my understanding. A lot of the times the criticism would come in the form of, you don't speak their language, so you don't really know how their delivery is. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. It's like that's why I'm picking up a lot more on like body language, and like someone is fascinating to watch even when they're not talking. Mm-hmm. And the guy who plays Cheong-san especially is incredibly fascinating. And you know what, to that regard, hate the character, but he does a very effective job, that bully.
Oh,
he's incredibly effective, and it's like he wanted to rule the school and now he feels like he can. Yeah. Like that moment where he's like, I'm king of the school now. Because literally nothing can touch me.
Now I can rile up the zombies, walk around free.
Yeah, it's like he saw the effect of just causing some noise. That is so eerie.
So sinister, yeah.
It's a great use too of your, and a lot of times a conflict that can happen in terms of audience correlation with a zombie property is, are the zombies a threat now, or is it the humans? And how much focus do you give to each one? Because you get used to the zombies, and really it's humanity that's the threat. So there's something interesting they did here by making the bully, the main bully at least, the one who is immune to the zombies.
Yeah.
Because now you're kind of doing both. But we have to see what the evolution ultimately is. It still make you want to like feed on blood, but at that point you're just a vampire, So.
Yeah. But either way, I mean, it speaks to that sort of randomness of life, and it, goes kind of again. I mean, for as much of a fist pump moment as it is when we think he dies, like the genetic lottery, and that's a bit of a movie thing, being that his, like a very much victim of his and then him both have this link. But also I feel like it does go to support that like life randomness of like, then this terrible person got off scot-free by chance.
I like the motif of cutting back to the recording footage of when running the test virus.
Yes,
I think that's actually used well, and they know when to implement the footage, because they could have implemented that with the girl who's suicidal. They could have implemented it there, but they let the mystery percolate a little bit more, and then they reveal it here, and I think that's really effective. So I think the way they use that is, they know it's a very expositional tool to use, but they know when to use it to the point where it doesn't become abused.
Yeah, it feels like it's appropriate and it makes sense. And it's strengthened by the fact that they let you have that moment last episode of going, what just happened with her? Oh, but there's a bunch else going on, and then you come back to it here for clarification.
I think, though, something about that I really appreciate about this show is I'm never disinterested when we cut to a different set of characters.
No, there's not. I can't think of one plot line or group where I'm like, I'm kind of bored when we cut to these people. Yeah.
Admittedly, the students they're not. I'm not saying they're not interesting. It's just they've done such a good job in elevating the adult stories.
Yeah.
That I'm kind of more interested when we're cutting to them to see what's going on, because there seems to be more advancement, where right now our students are kind of just stagnant in this one spot.
Yeah.
Where little to no plot advancement can happen. So they kind of just take time to ruminate over how fucked up life is.
Yeah. Kind of earn those wisdom points by having deep existential crises.
Yeah, I still like them a lot. I do. I still
Yeah.
think they're really interesting.
You still feel the tension with them. Yeah.
It's just, yeah, the adult storylines you're able to advance, and Cheong-san, who's like out on his own, you're able to advance the plot while advancing character simultaneously. So I think in these last 2 episodes, it's kind of been the other stories that have been more interesting. But that's not to say that it's the stuff with the students. I'm not like, let's just write them out of the show. Let's just focus on the
Boring.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say that. And I love how capable they flesh out the students too. Like they're really smart. You know, like even with the Archer characters, I like even they're super interesting. You know, they are a little bit action hero-esque.
Yeah,
but there's something
Especially
kind of
when they're always lining up back to back and like firing in unison with each other.
But that's what I mean by how this show is kind of doing like all the zombie shit. Except the only thing we haven't gotten is just like guys with guns mowing them down. You know, and I feel like we're kind of headed there at some point.
Yeah, we'll get there.
But even with them, there is that like they are like the zombie land characters in a way, like not fully because they're way less comedic and way less outlandish in personality.
Yeah.
However, they are like a group of 4 people on their own, 2 boys, 2 girls, and the one's like a lot more timid, while the other one's a lot more confident.
Yeah, totally. No. I wonder if there's any element of that that's like some kind of subtle nod to them. Because aren't they the ones who even name check Zombieland? Or no, it's the other kids
that's when they're
upstairs,
doing
drone.
But still,
But even still, yeah, I would imagine that there's some tangential like nod there.
And everyone has a good motive, you know. So I'm really impressed with this show. There's not, if anything, if I don't like something in an episode, it's usually some isolated moment that I forget about by the time we're done watching it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's usually like a tiny thing that I'm like right now. I'm sure there was something here that I didn't really care for, but I can't call it to mind.
Yeah, it's washed away by all the other things that work really, really well.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think the development of how they build the world in the school, around the school, it's really interesting stuff, and what keeps it interestingly focused at the school is like this is where it all started.
This is ground zero.
Yeah. So,
oh boy.
Yep, we're gonna say boring ass episode.
Boring episode. Only
So
good part
slow.
was when that guy switched chairs at the restaurant. Only good moment.
That's such a
So
I
great.
don't know why that's such a great detail.
Yeah. And all it allows, and it's funnier too because it is like it's such an in the moment. I wonder if it was almost improvised or something, but also it creates like the zombies show up at the window like a classic zombie movie, and it just allows you to pan slightly away from them.
Yeah.
And so like there's even comedy in the camera motion as well as just the very identifiable humanity in that little tiny choice.
Yeah.
So great.
All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for being here. Really appreciate you joining us on this journey, and we'll talk to you soon.